I was like, welcome back to Three Ways to Say It, where our opinions and perspectives are welcome. This is episode 17. And I am Casey.
I'm Todd Carter.
And I am Ashley.
All right. This week, I kind of want to dive into something that I feel like is out there. It just don't get talked about enough. I feel like we see it in different ways, but nobody actually just hit it on the head. And so this is in a way, serious topic, but I got it from a joke out of a tweet. So how I got to this topic was, it was a tweet. This girl tweeted on Twitter. She said, "As a grown man, why are you eating gummy bears?" And so this dude his at name is Southside _ guns, UUNN. He kind of quoted it with a list of things that women have said men can't do because it's not masculine enough. And so that's how we got to where we at. Even though that was funny, we really don't think about how much people care about how masculine someone is and how much that validates stuff for people. And so I'm just going to dive right into it. So I'm going to ask this question first, and I'll go ahead and answer, and then I'll let you answer. So I want to ask first, what is masculinity to y'all? And so I'll answer it first. So to me, masculinity is the expectations people put on people being a man or men being men. So I don't think it's like a definition out of book. I don't think it's something where somebody laid out rules. I think it's literally what women and some men see is like they judge it based off their own opinion. So if somebody's not doing something they expect a man to do, that's like them not being masculine enough. So I think it's all opinions, all just perception. So that's me. That's what I think masculinity is.
Yeah.
So go ahead, y'all.
Actually, you can go.
Okay, so for me, masculinity, I just had to look it up. So according to Wikipedia, masculinity is traditionally viewed as a male who is powerful, can lead, independent, shows strength, courage, assertiveness, and the important word that women like to hear, they're breadwinner. Oh, can't say that. Let me stop. Right. That was a joke.
Yeah.
So to me, I can agree with Wikipedia. At least that's just how I view it. So just someone who's powerful, who can take the lead, very independent. So yeah, I'll just say that. That's just my definition of it. So
okay. All right.
So when I think of masculinity, I just kind of think at like how the guy carried himself, just like some guys, they when you're having just say like a little disagreement, when I think about a masculine, I just think about the ones, I like those ones where when I'm having a disagreement with whatever, they be like, "Hey, whoa, check yourself." And I'd be like, "Oh, I like that masculinity." Like, I like that. Like, check me. So that's how I kind of do it. And which happened to me yesterday. but anyway, that's just how I view it. It's just like, and also too, when I think about masculinity, I think about, I'm not gonna even call this little person out, but it's somebody we work with. Every time a girl goes by, he be like,
okay.
So I just feel like that be part of like they masculinity, where it's just like they just being a guy and certain things. So I think about it. That's just kind of how I think. But like y'all said, Wikipedia with the being a breadwinner and all of those things, that stuff good too. But that's just how I be thinking about it. I just be like, yeah. And then and then kind of walk in the room and they be having them muscles and stuff. I just be like, ooh.
Yeah. So like the biological part of it, where men, are known to be big and strong and look at women. So yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, like you said, I'm gonna say this is not episode of Bash Men, but I'm gonna ask this question. So what, since y'all say what y'all think y'all view masculinity is, what's stuff that makes men not masculine?
Ooh.
Well, you can go first, Tasha.
Oh no. Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right?
I just gotta think about that one. Okay. Well. Okay, y'all. So one time, I'm always telling the story, but one time I was with my brother, and so I was over his house, and I was at his desk, and so my brother, he had seasonal allergies. So I remember at the time he was talking about a lady that he was talking to, but his seasonal allergies had started making his nose, not his nose, I'm sorry, making his eyes water a little bit. So I looked at him and I was just like, are you crying? He said, girl, no. Because girl, he was like, I have allergies. And I was like, oh, so in that moment, I just felt like it was kind of like, I know my brother ain't crying. But I mean, men can cry. But I just felt like in that moment, like, I know you ain't crying on no woman. But he wasn't.
Okay.
It was
Okay. Okay. So the crying. Okay. That's fair.
And let me tell you, I don't like to see men cry. I know men cry. I don't want to see it. Like, even when I was married and my husband had lost his brothers and stuff, like, I would just go somewhere else because I didn't want to see him do that. Like, it's up to me when a man cry. I don't want.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm a definitely answer last.
Okay, so right off the top, I instantly just think like men who fight women or talk about women. So let me go. I got to clarify some stuff before I say this. Am I saying men can't defend themselves? I'm not saying that, especially if she got a knife or a gun. Yes, women, I believe women should never hit a man. Let me clarify that too. Yes, it's not fair that women talk about men and men can't talk about women. It's just the reality of it. So to me, that's that biological part in a way. I'm just going to throw it in. I know people probably don't want to hear, but I think it's something in women where, we can just sit around and talk about people, even if it's in a bad way. For some reason, when guys do it, especially when they do it, I know they posted a picture of Tiana Taylor, Serena Williams, and Sha'Carri Richardson. And, when they talk about them, they'll post a picture of like, oh, she too masculine. Or if you're talking about their wigs or their makeup and stuff, to me, that's just not masculine. I don't think men should sit up and talk about women in that type of way. Now, it's one thing if it's just like, hey, she ain't fit for me or she my type. We always talk about that. I think that's okay. Am I saying like, oh, well, let me just say this. Yes, again, it's not fair, but I just don't like that. I don't. And I don't care for men who can't control their emotions. So I think that falls into fighting with women. So the point where you have to put your hand on a woman, just, I think as a man, just walk away, even if she does hit you, because you always had an upper hand. It's not fair that she hits you. I know if she has a gun, knock her out. She got a knife trying to stab you, knock her down to the ground, kill her, whatever you got to do. But we talking about these little tussling moments because I know we know when when it's about to get that far. Just try to walk away, like, please. But again, I would never say a man isn't masculine when he's trying to take up for himself. But other than that, you just end up fighting women. I got to take that masculinity away from you real quick.
Okay.
Right.
But now,
some guys will. Women are a little bit masculine when they have muscular built, because just the other day, Addison said the little guys be telling her, because Addison has a athletic build because she plays volleyball. So she has thick thighs, firm booty, abs, like when the season come in, like she ripped. And so one of the little boys said something to her about like, what is it that you be doing at the gym or something to that effect, but it doesn't bother her any because she's still feminine part. But it's just like, even with little kids, they notice and they're saying things about when they like women have a little bit more of a masculine, like makes you look good. I want a gym booty like Addison. But they notice that she toned and they let her know. They let her know. I'm just happy she's confident, because a lot of girls do have them bodies where they work out a lot and it may be intimidating to them guys, and because she look a little masculine. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So when it comes to me, which I got to be fair because I am the male, but for me, I always put masculinity with just the fact of being a man. I don't think I don't look at it like it's the outside stuff. I literally feel like just that looking at that man as him being a good man. So when you step out of being a good man, that's when I see you are not masculine. And so I think a lot of people look at the social way of people look at masculinity. So the social way as if this is stuff that people tell you men got to do, not the biological part. So that biological part is you growing up to be a man, and you just got to be a good man, be a good person. So when you, like you say, fighting women, I'm gonna go all the way, fighting women, fussing with women. I hate to see.
Ooh,
I hate to see men now. Mind you, it is a way to debate and argue. You know what I mean? We are humans. We're not going to agree on everything. But I hate to see men pick fights with women, especially ones that do not do the same thing with men. So men that just literally just argue with women, fighting with women. Every time you see them into somebody, it's a woman. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. So that's when I feel like that's when your masculinity is out the door. Also, like another thing, I think like treating women bad, treating children bad, just certain stuff. This stuff you're supposed to do as just being a man. So when you do those things, I feel like you literally strip away your masculinity. And I don't think it's a bad thing to have masculinity. I think a lot of people look at it like you're supposed to have, you're a man. So you're supposed to have some masculine, aspects about yourself. So once you do those things, I feel like you not only take away your masculinity, but you take away you being a good man. But yeah, that's just me. Okay. So like we were just talking about, so what are signs of a man being too masculine? I'll go first. I'm gonna let y'all think. I'm gonna go first. Okay, so for me, men who use their power and turn it into violence, men who use their power to overtake other people. So, for example, like in relationships, I feel like people see a lot of those things where they look at it like the woman going crazy and the man just got the power, he can just leave. It's because in those situations, he's using his power and his strength and his, like he can revert to violence. So he can have that girl scared to leave, or he can have her scared, you know what I mean? Like he can keep her in a place because of the power that he exudes, because we are men. So I think that's too masculine for me. Or a man who feel like a woman can't tell him, like she can't disagree with him, or she can't be on the same level basis of thinking with him. So say if you in this partnership and y'all, like you say, we always talk about like if y'all going over the bills and where y'all want to stay and stuff, if he feel like he got to make all the decisions because you are a woman and he feel like you can't think like, on that same level, that's too masculine. I feel like you're taking it too far. So for me is when you take that masculine part and use it as power over somebody. I think that's too masculine. So yeah, I'm gonna throw it to y'all.
I don't really think about being a guy being too masculine. I just think that it's certain things that guys like to control, and you may just be dealing with a guy that's very controlling. But for me, I don't think a guy can be too masculine. I just have an experience where I felt like what he was doing was too masculine for me. Okay. I don't I even really look at it. Like, I think I look more so if he do something that I think is not masculine, if he's doing just too masculine.
Okay, so yeah, I could say that too. I don't know if it's something that's just too masculine, but I will say there's moments where I feel like that they may think that women are testing their masculinity in a sense where when men have to say that they're alpha males, it's something about it. When you have to tell me you're alpha male, I'm just like, ugh, it's getting like, okay, like you've been, I guess what we could say, too masculine in a sense. Like, you don't have to tell me that you're alpha male. I think women can sense it anyway. Another thing, probably just the same thing, not listening to women. Of course, I got to clarify. Yes, this is how women can communicate. But at the same time, let's just say we are communicating well, and you have to say, like, we have met men who would say, like, I don't listen to women. Like that whole other thing where you have to just make yourself known that you're a man type thing. So I would say that I don't like those little moments because I feel like you're trying to let everyone know, like, I'm the man, and you don't have to do that.
Okay. Okay, so that was more on the side of inside. And I think the controversial part of masculinity is, I think, on the outside. So and I argue this all the time. So when you see a man, and I'm gonna ask y'all this, and I don't care about what y'all opinions is, just let it out. When you see a man, what is something, I could say even a red flag that he's not masculine enough? It can be clothing, it can be the way he carries himself. What is it? What is something that's just not masculine enough that a man can do that just turns you off?
Instantly, I don't know why I just instantly thought about nail polish. I'm not into the nail polish thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with nail polish because it's just the first thing I thought of. I just think that right there is a feminine trait, painting nails and doing nails, and not saying you can't do the clear coat. You want to go get a manicure, go get a manicure. But we not finna put pink and black and red on your nails. I don't care how rock star it is. I'm not going for it. I'm sorry. It's just me.
Okay.
I would just plead the fifth. I don't want to answer.
Because you don't want to say like you're saying that bad. Okay.
No. No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to speak for the women that I see what they say. I've actually seen women say stuff like, well, we actually seen this not too long ago. They don't even like to see men smoke the hookah things. You know what I mean? Because they feel like that's something that women do. I guess because women do it, they feel like men can't do that.
Yeah.
Some other ones, like you say, the nail polish.
That's crazy.
Some women don't even like to see men in super tight jeans.
Yeah, I don't like skinny jeans on a guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really care for the skinny jeans. They can't be them skin tight ones. They have to be. I can't explain it. Like, I know when I see it can't be that super tight. Like, yeah, it can't be that super tight. Sorry.
Okay. And let me think of another one. Well, I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, when some men actually, some of their clothing it's almost literally on the line of women clothing. A lot of the men clothing now, it's literally on that cuff, like literally on that line where you can wear it too. So that's another one I've seen.
Turn off for me.
Right. And just to be funny, and another, I know women don't even, like the other day, I was like, apparently women don't even like men to have birthday dinners.
Oh,
yeah, like,
now that right there.
Like birthday dinners, like, you know how girls go out and they get like the balloons, all that stuff. Right. Yeah.
I think that, go ahead, because I don't want to speak on it.
Okay. So that's just those things that I think we see. So y'all being women, since there are things like you see on the outside, that you see like, man, you don't think is masculine enough, does that turn you away from a man? Or do you give that man a chance? You get to know that man. Or is those things you see, like if you see a man with nail polish, does that necessarily just turn you off of him? Like you just cannot, even though you want to. So it doesn't go that deep where you just can't even give him a chance.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, because I've never just ran into a guy personally, with nail polish on his hand, but would it just be like, no, don't give him a chance type thing? I don't know. I can't lie. I don't know, because I am more open now at this age. So the whole nail polish thing, I don't know. And even just in general, because we can see that this whole masculinity thing is starting to shift. I've talked to guys who weren't quote unquote seen as the masculine, super masculine type. So, I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't give them a chance. Like, yeah, long as it's not too feminine, but yeah. So let me just say, as long as it's not too feminine to where it's, we compete about who wearing who jeans, and it's like,
okay.
nah.
Okay.
So, okay. So me, it's gonna be a turn off. And and it's probably just because I'm mature. But yeah. If he do anything that's like a little feminine for me, then I'm just not turned on, because I like what I like. I just like a masculine man. So if he show anything, and let me just say this, I wasn't going to say this, but I am. I'll go ahead and say it. I don't like, and we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but if a guy is kind of, gossiping and like going back and forth with me like a woman does, or I really shouldn't say this. I should say, okay, I ain't gonna say it. Ugh. Okay, but it's one little thing. Let me say it tastefully. No, I better not. So, anyways, yeah, it's just it's so I let me say it, bro. I'm trying to say it. So I've noticed that sometime. No, I'm a bag out. Yeah, I it's just a turn off. I was gonna say something that I noticed with my husband, but it's just not fair to say because that's not true. But my experience, and I have experienced some things when, depending on who's in that household, sometimes they will tend to act. I'm bag out.
You ain't backing out because you're saying it. Then you back out.
Yeah, because I don't know what I don't know what you're finna say. I don't know.
Like you read the book and then you just won't get to the end. But it's okay. So for me, I'm gonna speak from the man side. I do think it's a challenge because of the time changing, on top of trying to, I think, meet expectations and standards of kind of just people in the world, period. So, for example, and I'm gonna be honest, I see dudes now, like it's dudes where when I say they ain't used to wear never baggy clothes and all that, these are dudes now in skinny jeans, but mind you, it's only because times are changing. It's kind of like if you don't, for a lot of dudes, I would think, if you don't keep up with everybody else, how can you really have a place in it? And if you like stuck in them, stuck in like, well, I can't wear them really tight, I gotta wear big pants. They probably not gonna look at you no more because it's time changing. You realize that's who the girls have these days. It's not really, for example, I say like JT and Lil Uzi, for example. Not saying he just like completely feminine or anything, but of course he do his own little thing where, he'll wear the nail polish, he'll wear the stuff that's not traditionally what men will wear. But you see, he still was able to get like JT or somebody. So it's kind of like it's a challenge because you can't be quote unquote, I say sold, where you still trying to keep up with like, oh, this is what they used to do. When time is changing, it's so hard to literally please both. Like you can't. It's like
Right.
you kind of trying to stay in yourself. Like, okay, I don't want to do this for, but then people care so much about what society say that it's kind of like how would you have a place if you don't follow the times that's changing. And so I do want to speak for that. I feel like because times are changing, it's just stuff that everything is so different now. Like I just give you myself for example. I got in like right now. I got in like hoop earrings. I ain't trust me. I'm aware that years ago, with no man with no hoop earrings for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even for example, like I said, I got the little flower tattoo on my arm. I'm pretty sure, like, with the flower that I have, I'm pretty sure back in the day, men were not just getting it. And so I think it's definitely a struggle to hold on to both ends. So yeah, so I always said, you see a man where he just kind of, I ain't gonna say experimental, but if he got this different stuff on, I would think this kind of, I ain't gonna say just knock him off, just give him a chance. You just never know, you know what I mean? Like he could still be that build and all that, but it's just trying to keep up with the times. It's so hard. I feel like that's why you ain't gonna see no man with no baggy jeans on. It's hard. It's very hard. I might say. But, yeah.
And I think also too, that's why I was like, I just kind of want to throw in the whole biological part of it, because we can't just erase that. Like we are, from what they say, animals, right? So we know in the animal kingdom and all that, like men are big and masculine and look at women, and we can't erase that. We can't pretend like the average woman doesn't want this big huge man who knock everybody out and strong and not wimpy.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard fighting that natural part too. So fighting with the natural part of you and society and how it's changing every day, it has to be tough for men, because even in my brain as a woman, I'm just like, wait, what's going on? Like, it is and it's changing overnight and fast.
Yeah.
Every time you look up, it's something new. Like what we consider feminine, maybe, men are starting to carry purses now. Growing up, you would never, ever catch a man wearing a purse. So it's just like, so if I see a man carrying a purse, let me say this. So if I catch a man wearing a purse or something like that, it's like, is it like, okay, wait, hold on, or do you give him a chance?
I have 4 nephews, and they are as mad as they come, but they do wear skinny, and when you said the little purse thing, I remember that my ex-husband had this little bag that he would carry, and I used to tell him, is this your purse? But it was when he would put his little books in, and it was like a little thing. He was like, no. And I mean, he is masculine as they come. But I will still say that he gonna get me. Okay. But he do some things sometimes that it's like, okay, I can tell that he was raised in a house without a male. There it is. I just said it. Because he'll go back and forth and be arguing with me. He be doing little stuff, and that it just seemed like, okay, I can tell you was raised by women because you act like a little old witch, is what I would say.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you, my ex-husband is man as they come, and he got 5 kids. So and I've never looked at him like I thought he was gay or anything like that, because he don't give you no gay vibe. But he do have these little bitty moments where it's like, okay, you arguing on the phone with me, like, okay. But but still at the end of the day, he a man. Right. And he's the father of my children, but he do have him a little bag that he used to put his school books in.
Yeah. And it's funny. I can actually,
but he got plenty of women.
Right. And that's what I mean. So I can attest to that, like where, like we actually talked about it on the childhood trauma episode. We just didn't dive deep into it. So with me, living in of course, it's just my mama. So it's just single parent home, and like I tell you, like my family is literally mostly women. I'm gonna be honest. It's just me and my brothers and probably my baby cousin. So outside of this house, this is all women, which is fine, you know. But it's kind of, I look at it sometimes like, okay, yeah, there are women, but for example, like I say, I ain't embarrassed. So I know a lot of men, boys or whatever, they probably learn how to change the tire and stuff early, put it like that. But for me, it was later. Now you can't really fault nobody for it. Of course, somebody might look at it like that you lacking you're a masculine something because you don't know how to do this simple man stuff. You know what I mean? But like, who do you fault for it? You know, I always think it's situational, and it's kind of like that's what I mean. Where I feel like it's hard. It's really really hard because of course people see the outside, and and it's easy for somebody to put a perception on something. It's not hard at all. But it's kind of like, do people kind of think about that? Like, if you are around, grew up in a house nothing but women and stuff, how can you expect? And mind you, it ain't gonna take nothing away from being a man, but how can you expect him to be like the manliest man? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not like somebody's there literally training them to be that. And I feel like with myself, like I said before, my masculinity, I grew it on my own. And, you know, I with really no, you know, male figure, whatever. I just kind of taught myself how to be a man, or I'm just blessed enough to turn into some good type of man. But in general, I didn't have nobody there just literally telling me to, you know, to do this stuff. So I think that's the harder part. I think people don't think about the circumstances. Like, you can't expect like somebody who like me, or who came in the house all women, and actually the daddy can be present. He ain't even got to be just, you know what I mean? He ain't even got to be doing his job. The daddy can be present. He still can, you know what I mean? It's just certain stuff. If you're not being taught that, how do you really know? And that's why I kind of did want to do this episode, because I feel like there should be some type of consideration for those good men, of course. But some type of consideration to kind of understanding that it's just some stuff, like every dude is not gonna be just, you know, even if you try to be, it's hard to be something that you just literally don't have to be, or, you know, or trying to be. So yeah, that's my little spiel about it.
But and that comes with like I said, communication and growth too. Because I think, like I said, as I get older and just really recognizing that, like you said, most guys probably only do come from a single parent family home, and you have to understand that, like, oh, okay, I can understand why. And then the guy, again, like you said, later on may learn how to change a tire, or I don't know, cut the grass. I don't know. I just said cut the grass, but I think most guys probably know how to cut the grass.
I'm about to say, I was cutting grass at 3, but yeah.
And again, that goes to, like, it's some guys probably don't even know right now how to crank up a lawnmower, right? So that just comes with understanding, or wanting to understand. Let me say that, wanting to understand too. So I'll just say that, but I definitely get it though. I get it.
Yeah. And I think even on the end of I've actually seen where, for example, I told you I saw this little thing where it was saying, like, if a man don't know, if a male don't know how to do this or whatever, he's not masculine enough. Okay, but let's just, if we think about every situation, think about like this rich male or something, right? Where he just born into money, silver spoon, just why would he have to do this stuff? Because it's stuff he didn't have to do. You know what I mean? Where he was in a household where maybe the daddy could have, you know, like he got the money, or somebody taking care of all this stuff. You might not never have to do that stuff. Right. But somebody else can look at it and say he's not masculine enough. That's just his situation is different. You know what I mean? He just don't have to do those things. He don't have to work as hard or go out here and, you know, have dirt all over him and work. He just don't have to. And I think some people look at it like they just not masculine enough, but they don't realize it's circumstances, it's situations, it's different.
That is very true. And I think that part comes with, when I said the breadwinner part at the beginning, most we have to, again, that goes back to that natural part. When women see that men are financially secure and have money, you don't question those things, because it's like, oh, well, he's taking care of me, so that's just the reality of it. And it's not fair. Am I saying it's fair? No. But usually when it's if he's the breadwinner, if he want to call somebody to come cut the grass and pay them, I'm not questioning this. You ain't gotta cut
it. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I was having a conversation with this guy, and that was one of the things that came up. He was like, if a woman had a flat tire, he was like, well, I'll call AAA. But in my mind, because he said for one, it's too dangerous to be fixing a flat on the side of the road. And I get it, but at the same time, I still want to make sure that you know how to fix a flat.
Yeah.
So in that moment, but he was a person who has more money. So yeah, he's one of those people that like to just pay other people to do things. So I got that, but I'm not gonna lie. One of the things, and I'm old school, one of the things that turned about a guy is that I like a guy that knows how to fix stuff. It ain't even got to be a flat. I just like a guy. And one of the things I used to be that made me attracted to my ex-husband was the fact that if the heater went out, he can fix it. If the car needs to it, he can go out there and change the oil. That's just what I like. But you guys, they're not going to change the oil. They're going to get someone else to do it. And that's okay. It's just, but you can't beat them up for it. And then also too, when y'all household, we have to understand that, of course, a mother is not going to be able to teach her son how to be a man. I mean, like if I would have had a son and I'm a single parent, it would have been the same thing for me. I would have had to, raise a son and just, let his dad do his part when the dad is around. So you do have to give some type of, understanding that it's not, everybody don't come from a 2-parent home, and it's not going to always be like on TV, and that you have to understand everybody have different experience and stuff like that. And I think it's just about how that man handled himself, because he don't have to change the oil. But if he's a guy that he'll be like, but he makes sure that her oil get changed every time that it needs to be changed, then he's still fulfilling what his wife or his girlfriend need to get done. So ain't nothing wrong with it.
Right.
One size fit all.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I think perception is everything. And mind you, I don't think like us talking about it today, even if somebody saw it, I don't think that changes anything. I think society is gonna always put expectations on men. There's no way that they're gonna change what they're thinking. I just think there needs to be a space where people have, just think like, okay, yeah, he's doing this, but I don't think that don't make him a man, or just because he's not doing what this other man doing, I think he's just less of a man, or that he ain't doing something right. I think it need to be a space for people to think in that way. I hate when people think if I'm not at that same level of doing all this same stuff as a man, then I mean I'm less of a man than him.
Right.
And I hate that. And I think we're gonna always be compared forever. You have to go off something. So we're gonna always be compared to each other. It's gonna be women who do other stuff women do, and somebody gonna be like, well, she ain't as good as a woman. So it's just no matter what, we're gonna be compared to stuff. But I wish it would be a space where we can think that is just because I'm not out there rolling around. I almost said rolling around in dirt. That may sound like a job a joke, but just because I'm not doing the certain stuff, like you say, if I wanted to pay somebody to do it, I'm handling the business right. That shouldn't make me like I'm just a lesser man than him. We just got two different ways of handling it. So I just wish it was a space for that. But
and then it could be on the far other side of that, because I have an aunt that when I tell y'all, she's very feminine. She loves dainty things or whatever, but she used to go out there and do things that her husband didn't know how to do. Like she could privacy. She put up her own privacy fence. She used to work for Chrysler, and then she used to drive a 18-wheeler truck at one time. So one of the things that he used to have a problem with her with was the fact that he couldn't outdo her doing nothing. And not was feeling, because he was masculine, very much masculine, but it was just that he was married to a woman who knew how to do a lot of things that men usually do. And so so you have to understand, sometimes women be showing up masculine and men be having a problem with that too. So
okay, welcome back. So this is kind of like we're getting towards the end of the episode. I did want to ask this because I feel like it's important. Okay, for whoever want to hear it. So I want to ask y'all, how much does a man need to show his feminine side? And if you feel like he don't need to show it, that's fine too. But how much do you feel like a man needs to show his feminine side?
You can go, Ashley.
Okay, so if we're going by societal norms, which is what cooking and cleaning and emotions, showing emotions, I actually would say, here and there, I like a man who can cook and who wants to cook. I like when a guy, or I don't think I ever had a guy that said, I want to do the dishes, but if he did, I ain't gonna stop you. What you think gonna be like, no, that's the woman's job. Like, no, go wash the dishes.
Yeah.
Emotion wise, I actually like when guys, have I ever had a guy cry in front of me? So don't let me lie. I feel like I have. I can't think right off the top, but I'm just gonna say I don't mind, because it does show that something that I like. And then again, I like giving advice if I can. So I don't mind the emotional part, as long as you're controlling it, knowing how much, managing it in a sense where if you're mad about something, let me know. Okay. It's not throwing tables and knocking me out, So just show your emotions. Let me know how you feeling and go cook. Clean up too. I ain't questioning it. That's just societal norms, femininity. I don't know what, the other stuff. I'm just going by societal norms.
Okay.
Well, I would say I do like I wouldn't say really show that feminine side, but I like for a guy to be in touch with his emotions and, with his healing and things like that, because it does feel good for them to reassure you on certain things. And so, so that's just something that, so like, yeah, people want to hear that. I know I do. I heard some things today. It was so reassuring and unexpected, but it's like, those are, I think, the moments that we as women want guys to have more of. It's just those moments where they can be vulnerable and they can tell how they feel, instead of always trying to be so, I'm not going to even call it masculine, just so macho, whereas they don't tell you how they feel about certain things. I think that you have to a place where you're able to communicate effectively, because women need to know how men feel. And without good communication, like, no, you can't do that. So yeah, I want them to be in tune with their emotions and have some emotional intelligence.
Okay. Yeah. And I can't really, I just said to give the other side of it. So
that's
right. With me personally, I think that's I guess speaking for a man, for me, that's probably one of the things I probably struggle with. So I think I am in touch with this side. I feel like, of course, I claim that I don't show emotion, but I'm pretty sure I do. I'm pretty sure it's just there. I'm thinking I'm just so open that you gonna see it. Like if I don't like something, you can tell. If I'm sad about something, you can pretty much tell. I don't think I'm just not a crier or anything, but I'm definitely in touch with those emotions. So on that end, I feel like I do well. I think the part I struggle on is doing it in a way that benefits somebody who I am with. So if I'm showing my emotions and stuff like that, I should be sharing those with the person. Or if I'm okay with being vulnerable in my room, I should be vulnerable around that person that's going to be in my room with me. So that's the part I think I struggle with, which I think a lot of other men do too. So I think behind closed doors, you do have those men where that's when they probably cry. That's when they struggle the most, when they are by themselves, when they know anybody watching them. They okay with expressing it, and they can sit there and go through all the thoughts or whatever. And I think where they fail is not expressing to somebody else. Because I always say when you show those emotions, you hear other perspectives that can change that or help heal some of that. So yeah, speaking from the male side, I do think that's something I struggle with. So I am guilty as charged. But go ahead, answer with your question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And before they tell the woman. You know, like, you know how guys are just talking through things
for sure,
and other males and stuff like that, letting that lady know. But it's like, yeah, we need to know too. So let us know.
And I'm about to say, and I do think that, and that's a fault too, because I feel like we do tend to, even though we do get our opinions from our friends and people close to us, I think we kind of miss a lot of marks by not putting that same effort into expressing it with the person we're with. Because I think all we do there is say, I think it's so simple, and I think it's so easy for somebody to steer you in the wrong direction. Say if you are kind of sharing an emotion with people close to you, all it takes is for that one person to make you look in a bad direction, and it makes you think of in a totally wrong way, and that can ruin what you got with that person. Instead of you in the beginning just going to that person, and I think that's what I think we do that. I'm gonna say the fellas. I think we do that where instead of me going to that person and communicating like, I don't like this, I'm going through this, rather than me going and being disloyal to you, I'm going through this. I want you to understand why I'm acting this way. We'd rather go tell somebody else, and what if them dudes go tell them, man, forget her, go do what you do. They deter you in the wrong direction. So I do think, like you say, I think men as well as myself should express that more to the person we're with. So yeah.
Women too, women too. I think sometimes we be afraid to show our emotions and, and be the first one to say stuff or just be honest about things. And so I was talking to my brother today and he was just like, you should say that. And I was like, part of me didn't want to say it, but my brother was like, no, you should say that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do what you said. And it worked out because and my brother's a person who is very in tune with his emotions and stuff like that. I mean, he's a very good communicator. He always have been. And so I don't think I am, not as much, because I would tend to shy away from things. But he was just like, just say that. Just say how you feel. And I was like, okay, yeah. So yeah, women got to do it and men got to do it. And
for sure. And I think they hold it together. But yeah.
So, Keontae, I have a question for you. I wrote it down, so let me look at it. Okay, boom, boom, boom. So, certain things that go on social media, right? I see a lot of guys question guys' masculinity. So, have you ever had this situation? And I kind of want you to speak in a general sense. Like, how do you think that makes a man feel when another man is questioning his masculinity? So let me ask that. So just in a general sense. Because, it's always a woman's view on masculinity, but I notice a lot of men question or, another man's masculinity. So how is that as a man? Okay. When you're being questioned about your masculinity?
Oh, you should prepare me for this. Okay.
Oh, whoops! I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's because I'm gonna just be unfiltered. But it's fine.
Okay.
So I think as men, we are always looking to be a part of this brotherhood or this want to be accepted by other men. So I honestly feel like, because I know you said like some men view their friendship over their woman and stuff like that. And I think it's because in a way, men literally long for this brotherhood, this feeling like, I feel like being with other men makes you feel more like a man, or another man accept you, that makes you feel like a man. Even though a woman was supposed to, in a way, having a woman that you should right supposed to, that man, I think men seek for a lot of validation in other men. So if another man telling you right, I think you'll hear better than a woman telling you. So yeah, I think for me, in a general sense, other man testing or like you saying, question masculinity, I think in a way it's more like that. I hate it. It's like that like high school drama feel. You know what I mean? Like that trying to push you out of a group. I think men feeling like if I question your masculinity, it makes you less than a man. It makes you not be able to sit up there with me. And I think that's another way, like a man can make you feel smaller. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of women do a good job in making the man feel, like when you tell a man you appreciate what he do, tell him how good a man, that helps him. Because I do feel like a lot of men, the ones that don't fit in certain groups or whatever, just feel pushed out. Because if like, let me give an example. If you were a part of a basketball team or something, I guess, and if you feel like you trying out, doing everything right in your head, you think all I gotta do is try out and go be a part of this team, and it's gonna be all good. You get in that locker room and them dudes not talking to you. That's when, because now you're gonna start seeking validation from them. You're gonna feel like you're not a part of the team. You're on the team, but you're not a part of that team no more. Like literally, y'all gonna play them games. Like you said, you're gonna do what a man do. You're gonna play them games, but then it's still gonna always be in the back of your head that my team members don't look at me as like I'm a part of that team. So when other men put you down, or like you say, question your masculinity, it literally makes you feel less of a man. And I know men probably don't want to say that, but that is the truth. Because it's coming from a man. It's coming from that person that's supposed to understand those things or understand the masculinity part of it. So that's how I think it feels. Like if you're on that team, and you could be on that team, but if they literally not talking to you, pushing you to the side, in a way, even quote unquote ignoring you, because you feel like I'm supposed to fit with men. If men are supposed to see eye to eye on a simple level, I'm supposed to fit with them no matter what. I don't think the other stuff, that judging and stuff, doesn't matter. You should be able to go to another man and be like, we relate on these things. Okay, we had this type of understanding. But imagine going to that and then the man paying you dust and not paying you no attention. It literally makes you feel alone. And I hate it for those men that in a way seek for validation from other men, because man, that can be troubling. And I think that spills over in everything else. They're gonna always feel less of a man. And I think they're gonna get discouraged. They're gonna always feel like, well, I'm not strong enough. Apparently, I'm not vocal enough. I don't have power in my voice, because these other men who are supposed to be just like me are not seeing me as that. So I actually think out of everybody that can put you down, a man saying it will probably hurt you the worst and can make you feel the worst. I hope that answered your question, but yeah.
Yeah. Because I was just a wonder, because we always, because we always talk about how women see masculinity, which is, fair, but we never really just talk about how does a man feel when another man is questioning his masculinity. So I was just wanted to know that. So that's good insight, I guess. Yeah.
And I hope for any men watching realize that that's why I think it's important for men to keep this brotherhood, especially in our community. Keep this brotherhood going. Every dude and every boy and whatever ain't gonna be the same. But that's why I like when I see men take other younger dudes under their wing and stuff, because they don't realize how important us uplifting each other is. Because once we knock each other down, that's so discouraging in this world. Well, it's already hard enough. I don't, you know what I mean? Especially for us. I don't know why we do it to each other. I don't know. I don't know why. You know what I mean when I say us. I don't know why we do it to each other. Because we need each other more than anybody, the way America is. So yeah, I really wish that men saw it like, if we uplift each other and just take each other in. I understand. I know men who, if you want to go that way, like sexuality, I know they push other men out because of sexuality. If this man ain't got a good enough job, he push him out. If he ain't got a woman, if the women don't look as good in his eyes as his woman, he push him out. Why? Because at the end of the day, we all men. I don't get it. And I don't think no man is the same, but that's all I say, because I can really preach about it, but I ain't doing it. But yeah. So I guess if nobody else got anything, so let's, like we always do. Right. Oh, like we always do, we're gonna just finish with our, last remarks. It could be about the episode, topic, about whatever else. And whoever want to go first, if y'all want me to go first, y'all can definitely say it. It's up to y'all.
You go first.
Okay. I guess I go first. So, my point of this episode was to kind of, I want to. It could be one or two men, just at least those. I feel like as males, like you say, because we don't tap into emotions and stuff, people feel like we don't feel it. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this little stuff don't get to us, but trust me, it does. Masculinity is one of those things that is challenged every day. People make it such a big deal that it makes you ashamed to want to do some stuff. Men don't even want to be as expressive anymore in certain ways because of the way that masculinity works in society. So for any man, or especially young men, I'm gonna always go to young men, just realize that you are man enough. All it takes is to be a good person. don't let somebody telling you because you're not manly enough that you're not a good person, you're not going to be a good man. Trust me, though, that other stuff don't matter. As long as you're trying to be a good man, trust me, you're going to be good on that masculine side. That's how I look at it. That's the most important part. Just be a good person. That'll lead you to being a good man. That's more important than anything else. So that's all I got.
I like a masculine man. I do. I think it's sexy for me. I just like it. So I'm just gonna say love is in the air. That's all I got.
Okay.
Let me see. I don't know. I guess we could just end it by saying, just be with people who accept you, as a man. So if you're an overly, that was going to sound bad. I gotta watch my words. So if you're a guy take that out. So if you're a guy who likes to express his emotions, find a female who allows you to do that. If you're a guy who prefers to, manage it and whatever, then, just pick a female who allows you to do that. So, again, this isn't an episode to bash men or masculinity. It's just thoughts and views. So we appreciate the men. I love, again, what Tasha said, masculine man. I know you guys are fighting with, biological sense and the world, society norms. But just be you. I don't know what else to say. Be you.
Yeah. Okay. And my other last remark: if you're a masculine man out there, please come get tight because she ain't looking for y'all. Like, yeah. But yeah, thank you for watching episode 17. Hope it was informative to you. And stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see y'all next time.
Yes, like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know some things that you believe aren't masculine. And just let us know. We want to hear it.
All right.
And share.
That
share.
too, yeah.
Share.
Yes.